and welcome to the Voices of Impact, a podcast series brought to you by the Rivers State Tax, Justice and Governance Platform, with support from Oxfam in Nigeria, facilitated by CISLAC and anchored by the Community Conciliation and Development Initiative. Now, this series is all about sharing real stories and experiences from the Power of Voices Partnership Fair for All project, the project that has been championing fair and progressive taxation, fiscal responsibilities, and fair trading, especially within the informal sector. Today, we'll be hearing from key voices that have been part of this journey since 2021 till date, voices that reflect the challenges, the progress, and the lasting impact of this important work. So, let's start by getting to know you.
Okay.
All right.
My name is Flora Asieri. I am a senior project officer. I work with Stakeholder Democratic Network SDN. We are an international organization and we've been in the Niger Delta for over a decade now. And our major work is around governance, is around security and stabilization, is around the environment and climate change, and, of course, economic diversification.
Amazing. So you've been part of this project so far, what do you say the major impact has been?
I would say it has been impactful, especially to people in the informal sector. So how we came in was based on partnership with CISLAC, and other organizations. And for us, we always want to look at data when we're analyzing issues. And we're able to carry out a research on multiple taxation in Rivers State. We looked at the impact, we looked at, the effects and the causes in Rivers State, especially as it concerns the informal sector. And what we found was profound. The average Rivers person, is paying close to 75 different taxes, levies, and all of that. At least 10 of it are illegal. So there are a lot of issues that emanated from that research, because we had to go and hear from the horse's mouth. And they were able to tell us some of the challenges they face along the way. Some even crosses, human rights abuses. Some of them are...
What kind of human rights abuse?
So for example, you are in the market, you're shading your wares, and then this touts, per se, they come to you, hey, have you paid? And they sometimes tumble your gari, your basin of gari, or they seize it, or they start hitting you because you're a woman, you're a young guy, you cannot protect yourself. And sometimes they even go with security officers. And
most times
with security officers. And so over time, that issue of human rights abuse, where you're losing your capital, no interest at the end of the day, is wasted. So you go back to square one and start thinking of how to...
And many of those things are illegal.
Many of it are illegal. And then because there are no channels to complain, so it's just a circle.
I understand that the issue of tax can be very controversial. It's not really controversial. The truth of the matter is, as you said, a lot of people don't really understand why we should be paying tax. What is our tax used for? So I want to know, how do people receive the project? Because I've been in conversations with a lot of people as regards tax. People just have a very funny idea of tax, and they think the government is just wants to steal from us. And because you don't see what you are paying for. So how did you feel the room? What was the response from this whole project here?
So a lot of times people downplay the role of sensitization, but it is very important, because even when we're holding workshops, engaging the market leaders and all, a lot of them just say, hey, government, they are on to take.
Of course.
Take. Even toilets, they're not forgive us. Those are some of the germane questions, that emanated from our conversations. And what we tried to do was explain to them, like, what? Taxes is important, because the government, whatever revenue that is generated, goes back to, development in terms of infrastructural development. So in terms of roads, and although in real sense, we know that these things do not happen. And so again, you also understand the mindset of, the traditional market man, market woman. They don't want to pay, because why are you collecting money? And then at the end of the day, nothing stands for me. So it took a while, but again, it's about sensitization, that mindset change
But
is
the
important.
challenge I have I have problem. The challenge I have with sensitization is, if sensitization is one way, for example, the people that are enforcing this double taxation, did you at any point throughout this project engage with those people?
Most definitely.
Okay. So and how do you tell them that what you are doing is illegal and you must stop? Because I know somebody in my compound that does things like that. Every morning used to wear yellow shirts to just go and disturb people.
Imagine.
Right? How do you tell somebody like that this is illegal, even though this is their source of income? How I want to understand.
Yeah. So even civil society activists, they face a lot, like one of our members, she on her own part tried to sensitize somebody she knows that has been getting money illegally.
Yeah.
And the guy felt, what's the meaning of this?
Yeah,
This is my daily choppings. Yeah. But because she told him what was doing was wrong and then called somebody who he respects, he was able to pipe down. But he felt disgruntled because obviously they know
for the person.
it's crazy.
Yeah, because you're thinking
some people, like you said, they just wear any vest and they say pay.
And the problem is because a lot of these people are powerless, as you said.
Yes.
They are, it's crazy. You have a lot of stories like that where, in fact, these people even can cause injury. You see them with some kind of funny way, like knife, before you know, fighters. There was one time there was a major fight. Yeah, and it's almost like they use this cultist approach to, and the challenges, and what I want to even know is bringing the oppressors and the oppressed in the same room as stakeholders. How did they play out?
So what we did was we attended to them individually.
Okay.
Met with, and because they report, these guys, they report to somebody who is in office.
Exactly.
And that's why they are so minded. Like,
they must have a backing.
Yeah. So we had to go through,
I don't want to mention
discuss with them,
not to mention
discuss with some of those local governments, actors, and even the state government. We wrote to the governor. Yeah, we actually packaged reports sent to the governor, and it's helped in a way because at the end of the day, with the help of the Rivers State Internal Revenue Service, and then there's this other organization that we partnered with. We're all a consortium, LSS BI Advisory. We're able to come up with a short code. So we've been advocating for the digitalization of the tax system. So we came up with a short code, and that also helped sensitizing the public. Like, you can actually pay your tax through this short code. You feel like there are different prompts, and it's quite easy. It's easy for you to go through it, but we still need to do more sensitization about this short code. But it is existent in Rivers State, the RIRS.
So in local terms now, that short code should be able to, I'm assuming it should be able to help an average trader to know where they stand. How much they are supposed to pay, depending on the kind of goods that they sell or the service that they provide. Yes. Okay, so in the whole value chain of this taxation, is there like an estimation of rewards of the shop? For example, if you're a trader, I want to know the mathematics. How is it expected to work? You're right. How is the trader expected to be evaluated first, or is it the trader that will do his own evaluation and reports? Because most people, the challenge they have is, where do we go to? How do we evaluate what we should be paying?
True.
And because if you tell me my tax is 1,000 naira, it's 1,000 naira, but how do I know it's 1,000 naira? What percentage? A lot of people don't know so much about that.
A lot. And that's where the Taxation Institute of Nigeria, they have a Rivers and chapter comes in. They try to enlighten people. So they ask you, what kind of business do you do? They check, how much do you make in a week? What's your capital and all?
Because me, I'll not tell you.
Of course, but sometimes they have to evaluate what you do and then advise you on, okay, this is the category, this is the range you fall under. So this is what you are expected to pay within a week, within a month and all. So like I said, it's a lot of work. One organization alone cannot do it, and that's why, this group is doing the whole work.
So far, what will you say has been the major success story from your experience in this whole journey? What can you say, okay, I think we made impact here?
I think is that code. That code is like, it breaks a lot of barriers. So it's star 224, sorry.
Okay.
Star 5224 hash. Star 5224 hash is a USSD code, So it helps to cut out this third party system. The tout, the illegal taxation. It cuts out all those. So you are dealing directly with be it the local government, the states, or the federal. So they have a way of pooling their own resources because it's more like concentrated. So local government knows what is due them. The state knows what is due them.
So the problem with, and I think this is one of the greatest challenge with social impact, is that you want to solve a problem, but are not causing another problem? Because there are a lot of people that earn their living from this. What alternative do they have? Is there any system where, we can empower the street guys to do something different? Are we not? Because a lot of people say, okay, if you leave them, they will go into criminality, although it's still criminality, but it's on another level, But so there's this conversation around, are we not creating another problem by, so what are your thoughts around that and how to mitigate?
Yeah, it's true. So sometimes in trying to solve a problem, you are actually opening loops to other problems, like you've rightly mentioned. But I think let's do this first. And that's where government comes in. Government has to create that enabling environment. There should be jobs for those who might not reach a particular standard of education. There should be something that they can do. And all. So we as civil society were doing our part. Government also needs to do their part. But let's create that channel where things are right so that the informal sector, they can operate their business and expand. I mean, it's just like from hand to mouth. That's what they are currently doing now. But want an opportunity where they can expand their businesses, they can grow, they can have branches and all.
Without fear of being intimidated. Yeah.
Right.
So what do you, and this is the last question, but this is major because when you see a woman that has been constantly abused by these people or a trader that has been constantly, sometimes you see them helpless because, as you said, sometimes they come with security forces. What channels, because I know I asked this question once, what channels do they have to report? If you see somebody coming with a policeman, in your mind, because the police represents the law, and in your mind, you know that this is illegal, but what can you do? Is there a channel where these people can report, cry out, vent, and is there a means of compensation for damages?
I don't.
The glory.
I don't. I don't know about compensation, but again, this was one of our recommendations. That there should be a channel for public complaints, so that when you're assaulted, when your rights are abused, you have a number, you have an office to go to and report and say, at so time, this happened and all. We've given our recommendations to government is for them to implement. I know it's true. With Nigeria, it's about implementation. That's the issue. But hopefully, we should get there someday.
Okay, so what's your advice to traders on general, because I know that the work of CSOs and NGOs is basically to advocate and to raise awareness, right? So what's your advice to a trader on tax generally?
I would advise for them not to, say they wouldn't want to pay tax. This tax eviction thingy, it's a problem. They should understand.
It's like
they should understand and look at what's happening at the federal level. From 2026, everybody, So they shouldn't look at it as something that is taking money out of their business. They should see it as their civic duty. Pay your tax, and they would also need to follow through with the government to ensure that what they are paying tax for, they actually get the dividend. Because it's not enough for you to pay your tax. There has to be that accountability mechanism follow the money.
Yeah.
So that we get what we are paying for.
So I think when Nigerians pay their tax, they will now become more involved in governance.
Exactly.
And it's a because
so you have a right to say,
yes,
I pay my tax. I'm a taxpayer. So yeah, exactly.
Because you now become more involved because your money is
it's tied in. Yes.
Thank you so much. It's been
Thank you for having me.
Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the Voices of Impact, and see you next time on the next episode. Okay.
Bye.